Splitting Hairs Podcast.
Jackrabbits, welcome to the Splitting Hairs Podcast. This is the Friday Night Football edition. Got the crew back together for Hobo Week. What's up, fellas?
What's up, boys?
What's going on?
We're all doing our best to get to you live. It was a soft 5 o'clock start time. But before we dive into the goods, as always, want to shout out our title sponsor of the pod this season, the Wild Hair of Brookings, South Dakota. Jackrabbit Nation, if you're looking for a spot that hits harder than a linebacker and pours smoother than a Chase Mason touchdown drive, look no further than the Wild Hair. Happy hour runs every day from 3 to 7. And if that's not enough, Sundays and Tuesdays are all day happy hour. That's right, drink deals from open to close. Thursdays, $3 Wild Islands to keep things loose. Fridays, that's today. We call that Fireball Friday. $3 shots and $1 tequila shots to get your weekend started off right. And if you're feeling bold, $4 double wells every Wednesday and Friday. Again, that's today. Those will do the trick. And on game day Saturdays, the Wild Hairs got $10 buckets of domestics and $22 buckets of seltzers, all while showing every SDSU football and basketball game, home or away. But we know you guys are going to get loud and get to the Dana this Saturday. Make sure you pregame at the Wild Hair. They open at 9 a.m. They've got a lot of good stuff for you. And, so whether you're celebrating a Jackrabbit win or just chasing good vibes, make sure you do it at the Wild Hair of Brookings, proud title sponsor this season. We appreciate you. Gentlemen, without further ado, let's dive into what's happened this past week with a nice little road victory. Lots been talked about it. But what were our impressions overall from the game?
Gritty road win in conference. I mean, that's another ranked win on our resume. It's Youngstown's a lot better than they used to be, and that's just a really good win to go get, especially going through some adversity in the first half. It was great to see him respond.
Yeah, I'll say it reminded me a lot of that 2019 Youngstown game. You come out flat, and then second half kind of turn it all around. Plays start clicking, guys are flying around, and I think it's a good test to see that we can overcome adversity, for one, and for two, they're ready for conference play. It looked like towards the end of that game, the holes were wide open. Guys are getting to the QB. I think that this team kind of just truthfully took another step, so it was cool to see.
No, for sure. It kind of reminded me of the 2022 run, that first playoff or first conference game against UND. Kind of got punched in the face and had to bounce back, so it was good to see.
Yeah, man, and like we've beat the drum ad nauseum here on the pod. You don't want to peak in October, right? You want to start to work some kinks out, make sure you're operationally sound, playing clean football, not too many unforced errors. We only had our first turnover of the season through the air on Saturday. And that was a ball that Chase could have just turned down the heat a little bit on. So certainly things within our control to be able to iron out moving forward deeper into conference play. And one of the things that this whole thing reminded me of was kind of that 22 matchup, not only with UND, but 22 matchup where we just honestly shit the bed in the first half against NDSU, right? And then we battled back and shut them out in the second half. So regardless of who you're playing in the Valley, man, I think Coach Jackson said it best. All eyes are on the Dakotas, right, wrong, or indifferent. And when you play a Jackrabbit team, a Bison team, you're going to get everybody's best shot. They're going to empty the tank. And ideally, that would be every week. But when you have the opportunity to go up against a juggernaut, blue bud, whatever you want to call it, you're going to leave it all out there. You're going to pull out all the stops, hit them with different gimmicks. And really, Scott, you brought up a good point. They're a much improved team, Youngstown State. They're better coached. They got some twitchy talent. Stack and Brian, what did you guys think overall about the skill that you witnessed Youngstown State roll out there last weekend?
I can say their quarterback is a baller for one. And as Youngstown teams goes, like usually their quarterback's going to be a really tough guy, right? Like I remember, I think it was 19 where the guy like tore his ACL or something like that and then played the very next week, like on it and was getting sacked and was staying in the game, right? Like completely insane. Defensively wise, kind of what I expected, which is, for them a good thing. I forgot which D end it was, but they had a really twitchy guy at D end who was really good. Like we said on the podcast when it was just me and Brian, like they're used to putting out like NFL talent. Yeah, NFL talent at D end. So, I mean, I'd expect nothing less there. But, I mean, this isn't like one of those like Sac States where when we win, we're like, whoa, they're better than we would have thought. Like this was a very legitimate team here that I think could make a run in the playoffs.
I would say, too, I think we've had a history of kind of struggling with QBs that can move a little bit. Because even Southern Illinois, when we played them the last 2 years, when I was there, we kind of always just struggled whenever a guy could just find a way or fit an extra hat in the box. I don't know. It was always good to see, still a win.
Yeah, it was that kid, Nick something or other, who when Stone was off fishing, he – took the reins and kind of carried SIU, from the depths and just, scrambled on us. And like, it's those unstructured plays where it breaks down that give guys fits. Cause we're not necessarily spying, maybe our rush lanes, we're not keeping contained. And overall, it's just one of those things where it's like, who wants it? And we started to see later on in the game, the boys wanted it. I don't know if everybody caught on, it was circulating on social media, Chase Van Tol ran about 65 yards. I did the math total, going through his read steps and then turning and running in pursuit. And he reached like 21 miles per hour.
Yeah.
Shout out to South Dakota State social media team for highlighting just effort, man. That's the kind of stuff that makes a difference, as Coach Stig would say.
Well, that's a 4-point tackle because we held him to a field goal on that drive.
Great point.
If he doesn't do that, that's a whole different looking ball game because then they only need a field goal at the end to go ahead because we've only been up by 1. So the effort plays like that are ones that really pay off.
And I think that's kind of like what Kyle will be saying, where it's like, every rep is a game, right? Like they're like, you don't have any idea, right, when you're hustling the ball that this tackle could possibly win us this game, but that's how these guys play. And like, that's what's so fun to see that like, you see like the desperation in every single play, even when there's mistakes or even when the first half isn't how we want it to look. Like when it comes down to it, like you look at Montana State also, like these dudes play with a level of desperation that is very fun to watch.
Come on, Brian. You're on location.
Yeah, I know you got something to say. Yeah.
Deeply invested. What are you looking out for? UPD? UPD trying to ticket you?
There was like 3 homeless people that just walked by, and I was like, I don't think I've ever seen a homeless person in South Dakota.
No, it's not homeless. It's Hobo Day, bro.
Oh, yeah, whatever.
Brian, you forgot the tradition already, man.
No, like this was actual hobos though. Like this isn't just a day thing for them. This is a lifestyle.
Yeah, it wasn't thrifting by choice. It was by life need. I hear you all. Shout out to them. Go make a difference. Why don't you go help them back to their tent?
There you go.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah, bro.
I don't got stack with me. No protector.
Got you. Well, yeah, so overall, I think just getting back to the game, a lot of frustration, I think, probably from the fan base because we're so used to seeing dominant running game performances. Doesn't matter whether it's early on in the game, middle of the game, end of the game. We're used to leaning on guys, sustaining drives. But, I was talking to another sponsor of our media company here, Jacob with Cottonwood Coffee, and he brought up a good point. We're real thin at running back. And then some news came out like Begeman's going to miss some time. Obviously, Corey Blair was out the past couple weeks. Not really sure what's going on there with him. We picked him. I think Scotty and I picked him to be our impact players. So Scotty didn't keep his streak because he was all over the Graham Goring one. I think he picked the right player of the week each week up until last week. So we'll have to get him back on track this week. Hobo back on the rails, right?
That's right.
But as the game kind of progressed, we dialed in a better scheme, I think, in the run game, running more power. As Stack would like to say, RPO, run power often. Biblically, accurate football, ladies and gentlemen.
Accurate
And
football.
yes, and it started to hit, right? And like we were getting bigger chunk plays, but I do want to let Coach E off the hook a little bit because I was frustrated just because we weren't running as consistently, but the plays that we were calling through the air were there. Chase just got to deliver it. And like Coach Jackson said, it was mainly about execution, right? Mainly about execution last week in the first half.
Well, I think too, we talked about in our bits segment, earlier in the week, we wanted to see those running backs take that another step up. We wanted to see the offensive line take another step up in their physicality. And in the first half, we really didn't. It was pretty frustrating to watch. And obviously for them is it frustrating too. And then we saw it like something clicked. It seemed like where running backs are following their blockers a little bit more. Offensive linemen were really getting downhill. It, like Stack said, it really seems like they, especially in the second half, took another step and, maybe showed a little bit of depth too, but the physicality was really there in the second half, and it was a lot of fun to watch. It was kind of like watching what we've been used to watching in the last several years, and it just kind of came into place in the second half last week.
No, I would say that's probably the best half of football
Yeah,
our
we
line has played
Yeah,
all year.
Agreed.
I think that's easily
Hands down.
Yeah.
And across the board, you look at Willingbrink, had some incredible second level seal blocks. They were moving bodies. Adams had some pancakes. John Pika, you got to shout him out, man. My God, just absolutely driving men through the turf. Love to see it from a walk-on who just got put on scholarship, not changing his mentality at all, just continuing to eat and play like a hungry dog, and it showed. Yeah, and it worked. What were you about to say, Stack? Biblically
I was
accurate
saying,
football?
bro, in the second half, like you could have drove a freight. Yeah, you could have drove a freight train through some of those holes, dude. Like, and seeing the running backs kind of like we were talking about last week, but getting to hit it where it's supposed to go. You know what I'm saying? Like some of those runs bounce outside when they shouldn't. I think earlier this year, or like some people kind of get like that Pierre mind where like, you know what, if I just stick my foot in the ground and try and run this the other way, and like not everyone runs a 4.3, right? Like he did, but like. I think now with how our offensive line is playing, with our backs' vision, like our run game could be pretty dangerous going forward here.
Indeed. And Brian mentioned it in our group text last Saturday. It did look like Juice had a little bit more burst. It looked like,
sure,
right? I mean, he looked more twitchy as well. And maybe he was just like, all right, I got to put the team on my back, bro. Maybe he felt some of that scat energy.
I don't know, but it also has to go to like, those first few games, the boys are not in shape. Like there's nothing like you can't get in game shape no matter what you do in the off season.
Yeah.
You got to play a few games to get rolling. So
not in y'all's era, in Scotty and my era, no way in hell would we not be in game shape by week 1. Coach Mo would have run our asses into the ground. Coach Stig had to tell him to stop running us so much. That's how much we ran. None of this like half-pads. None of this like
difference in all of that than actual game speed and every. Let me get on my soapbox. I'm just sick of the fact that you guys don't do 2-a-days anymore. All for safety.
Jesus.
Yeah. So what? My freshman year was the last day we had 2-a-days. That was some of the like. In my mind, bro, I'm like, why? Like, what is the point of this? Like, you're literally doing football all day. Like, lift, practice, film, practice. I'm like, bro, this is like prison. Like, I literally went back to my room one day and told Elijah, I was like, bro, I don't think I like football this much, bro. Like, I don't like it enough to be doing this game.
Like prison, man. They give you 3 square meals there too, but you get to see the sunlight. You're outside. Come on, man. He froze. He doesn't know what to say.
Cold world, man.
I thought you were in Illinois, Jack. Come on, man.
Man, I don't know. Like I'm just saying, it's just different. The 2 days is different, man. Look, I'm happy. I'm happy they're over with.
Stack is on FanDuel back there. That's what the delay is, everybody. Sorry about that. He's making sure he gets his last-minute bets in tonight
Right.
on the USF UNT game. So, no, but you guys are right. Like, your generation is just softer, and it's all good. It's how it's going to be. But you guys are more athletic. We'll give you that. Way more athletic. Like, speaking of athletic, Alex Bullock. 10 catches, 162 yards. What a freak, man. Went off.
Yeah, that was wild. That was so good to see someone else break out. I mean, we know how good Ogrowski is, and we knew Bullock, coming up from Nebraska, had the talent to do it. We just hadn't seen it yet. We hadn't made that connection, and now it seems like Chase and him have really established something there. So once we get back to full strength, it'll be really nice to see if Chase keeps spreading the ball around and get that, second real big threat, especially if Goring gets going a little bit more too. We knew how deep this wide receiver room was, but now we're starting to see it, and hopefully it keeps going as we get more and more healthy.
Especially if we get back to full strength.
Right.
Bracket, double, Ogrowski all you want to.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, that's fine. You got somebody else.
Exactly.
That's just...
And I do like, again, even though I think he went to the well one too many times with it, I do like how Coach E tries to force the defense's hand with coverage by lining the wide receiver up in the backfield, motion him out. I know he's got more layers to that he'll sprinkle in. Absolutely. We do got to bring up, since we're still on the offensive side of the ball, incorporation of the tight end. Like, obviously it works in the red zone. That's good. But not only from incorporating the tight end through the air, what about the blocking game, man? Our tight ends, I want to challenge them. They got to step it up. I know Coach Benedetto, my former teammate, he's going to be all over him. He does a great job with the unit. But my goodness, we got to get more physical in the trenches if you're an inline Y, man. You can't get pushed back, bent, broken, none of that. I'm not saying that happened, but I'm not seeing that happen the other way. Advantage Jackrabbits, as Stig would say. So.
No, that is something that used to stick out on tape a lot. And that's just, once you don't see it, like, you don't obviously just notice it right off bat. You got to watch it a few times to notice that the tight ends aren't really doing, what we were used to doing. But, I mean, you got to think of who was before them too, though.
Right.
Kraft, Hines, Mike Morgan, Brenner. I mean, even Brenner from fullback position, he was going nuts.
Yeah,
well, even the wide receivers too.
Exactly.
Donkeys blocked like tight ends, man.
Amen, Scott. That's a great point. I want to see more of that. I know they've gotten their heads in there a little bit. I think we can improve in that department.
Right.
No block, no rock mentality, which I know Coach, I'll always get it messed up. Coach Bangston, not Bang, Bang and Bang, however you say it. One of the Bang Bros got the one of them is going to instill that. Both of them are going to instill that mentality, right? So when you look at the tight ends, we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about the H-back, fullback situation with Goose. Andrew Goostad is hell of a player, running the rock, getting tough yards when we needed it in short yardage conversion situations, and that is a huge value add. I'm super hyped that Coach E implemented that more. I don't know if that's more of an indictment on the fact they didn't trust us to get that done when I was playing, or that he just turned a new leaf and now he's wanting to do that. Either way, I love it. Let the fullbacks touch that rock. They're athletes, pure athletes.
Right.
Anytime a fullback can get some love.
I don't think that was an indictment on you, Kyle. I think.
Go on, Stack. Go on.
No, I was saying just because, we had Sellers back in the day, and dude played in the league for a little bit. He never touched. I think he touched it once. So I don't think it's a you thing, Kyle.
I don't understand what that was all about, but never late is better late than never, right? So I messed that up, but don't hold it against me. When we look at the defensive side of the ball, we got to shout out Rip. Rip's energy, man.
Oh, yeah.
Ripperda, just what he was able to do on that one series in 2 to 3 minute drive situation for Youngstown, forcing a penalty, then getting a sack fumble situation.
Did he have TFL too or something like that?
TFL as well, and Logan Green securing the rock. which could have tilted the game up to that point where instead of Youngstown trying to have to drive to score 7, maybe they're within a field goal situation there at the end. Who knows? But either way, balling out. Gentlemen, do you like anybody else's play from the chain gang?
Honestly, Rip is just balling. I feel like coming into the season, like everybody really knew Reese's name, and we were all harping on Reese, but Rip's been balling. And so it's been cool to see. I'd also say Kobe Claiborne. I mean, there's a lot of plays that, like, yes, he didn't fill the stat sheet, but he still played a hell of a game whenever you go back and rewatch it. That's just something as a D tackle. Like, you're not always going to pop up on the stat sheet, but when you play really well, someone's going to play it. Someone's going to fill the stat sheet. So
he was causing fits.
Isn't that old adage, right? You can play a perfect game on the D line and never see a stat, right? Like
1,000%.
bubbling plays and whatever like that. It was just a lot of fun to watch. I mean, yeah, Rip is a biggie. What didn't Jace? How do you pronounce his last name? Cyfor. He had that real good play, real good pursuit on the. Now it's been 6 days ago now. What was that? A running back? He ran down, or a little slot receiver or something.
Yeah.
Just had perfect pursuit and just said, "Well, you're not going anywhere." So that one particular play really stands out too. So
right, and Brian could speak more to this than me, and Stack probably as well, but a little bit more of a project player, right? Now he's getting his shot, making the most of his shot, next man up mentality. Like, you're in the rotation now. Let's see what you got. Let's play with better pad level on some of the plays, but he's going to continue to make strides, and we need it, right? Especially with, Reese going down, Kobe playing all over the line, which I love. That's a huge weapon to be able to play a guy on the edge, have him edge rush. That's his stature, but also bring him inside and have him beat double teams with his speed and his natural pursuit, which is great.
No, 1,000%. He definitely was a project, but came along really well. I felt like he played. Was this his first game or was this second? I think
first.
I think it was his first. So to make plays, first game back, I mean, you can't ask for much more. The pad level, it'll come with more game reps, but I thought he played really well.
No doubt. Yeah, and Chad makes a good point here. He's coming back from injury. And, of course, like, I think it's a good thing South Dakota State doesn't disclose injury information. A lot of people say maybe that's playing coy against other opponent, but I like it because it adheres to HIPAA. Brian knows all about that. He's in the medical space. I think it just makes sense. He shouldn't be disclosing injuries. It just so happens it also benefits the scouting report for the good guys. So, love seeing new guys enter the fold and step up and try to write their own name and etch it into the books for us. So, really looking forward to see what he does in this game against an O-line that notoriously, before we fully dive into it, notoriously has put dudes in the league all over the place, both on the offense and defensive side of the ball. So it'll be cool to see what this iteration of the Panthers roll out there and who gets the advantage overall. Chain gang, 605 Hogs, who's it going to be? And then when we look at second level, do we want to move on?
Yeah.
Anything? Moving on to the linebackers. Cullen McShane, 43 tackles on the year. Just a dog. Chase Van Tol, dog. Joe Ullman, playing well. Getting the defense set. Everybody set up there. Also Goring, seeing him play. Chiton is getting some action. Love the name. 1 of 1 in terms of names. Rocking number 47. It's not a punter anymore, so I'm really proud of that. You know what I mean? But I think he got a little dinged up last weekend too. Hopefully he's okay because we need everybody to be able to roll out there, stay fresh as we get deeper into conference play. Gentlemen, anything that stand out about the LB play?
I mean, anytime anyone plays with the effort that Chase Van Tol played with, that just feeds everybody across the board. So you see a guy like that coming in, not only is he not caring about his body in the box, but someone who will also run down a play 65 yards. Give me someone like that over anybody. You can have all the talent in the world, but if you don't care as much as someone like Chase Van Tol did on that single play, then I don't want you. You know what I'm saying? So Chase Van Tol, that's it.
100%. Yeah, I tell my reps, I talk to Brian about it all the time. I can't want it more than you want it. Like, either you're bought in or you're not, and nothing says you're more bought in than your actions. And actions like that, when you see a dude haul like that on a play that, you know, nobody really is expecting him to actually get in on the tackle. Like, we wouldn't fault him if he couldn't run that down. Just earns trust all the way around. Your whole team is like, yeah, I'm going to go to bat for that guy. I'm going to give a little bit more if he's hauling ass like that.
And I think it just helps you believe that, like, you know, you're never truly out of it. You know, I mean, like, whatever the score looks like, wherever we're at on the field, like, you know, 4th and 1, and they're, you know, 5 yards away from their end zone, overtime, like, we have a chance. Like, when you have dudes that give a crap like that. So I'm back on time. I'm not.
Right.
It was just hunger. He's a freaking carnivore. They're not sponsoring us, but I love these. Maybe they'll sponsor us. Come on.
As they should.
Right. Well, I mean, if Brungard scores on that run, it's 21-7, you know, and a chase down like that's pretty valuable. So, I mean, we already went over this here earlier, but that saved us 4 points and made it a lot less daunting than it otherwise might have been. So
that also just brings back Kyle's point earlier, comparing it to that NDSU game. Right before half, Herter picks the ball right in the end zone. We're only down 17 instead of whatever that would have been, 23.
Shout out Texas Jacks, baby. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at the secondary, I think that was probably an area of improvement. Obviously, if we can't get home and the quarterback scrambling, it kind of softens coverage because they got to get their head in on the tackle. You don't want them peeking into the backfield too much, but clearly there were sometimes you got to chalk it up to great quarterback play. Bo Brungard made a great pump fake on that one double move, but Tom Zach, really good receiver, knows how to get separation. I got some agent buddies that are taking a long look at him for the NFL. He's got some talent, right? But we can't let guys eat like that on us. Certainly, he had over 100 yards receiving. I know that Brungard had like nearly 400 yards of offense. It was a lot. So we got to bottle that up. I truly believe he's in the upper tier of athletes at the QB position that we're going to see, but we're also going to see some other athletes. So we got to make sure we shore that up and move forward. Gentlemen, let's dive into Hobo Week. I see Stack, Brian, you guys are dialed in. You got your little scruff, your beard, stuff like that. Well, Stack, I don't know. Like, that's how you always look. You got a little bit on there. I see it. I don't have anything. I'm an employee. I got to make sure I get my paycheck, right? Can't be looking like a hobo too much. I don't want to scare my infant either. He'd be like, what the hell is going on? Scotty's clean shaven too.
It's about a day and a half. If I tried growing anything more than like a couple days, my wife is like, shave your fucking face. Like, so. Yeah, we keep it nice and smooth here these days. About a day and a half, 2 days, and that's it. So
Scott's not trying to scare these kids when he's repping.
No, right. So
love it. Yeah, definite players in the valley that we need to be cognizant of and get in phase as DBs and get home from the chain gang. But as we move into this week, we're looking at UNI, right? Historically, I don't think the guys on the team are too up in arms about playing UNI all the time. It's just another opponent, in my opinion, but maybe I'm out of the loop on that. But the fan base sure is a little bit hell-bent on not playing them every Hobo Day. What are y'all's thoughts? Does it matter who you play on Hobo Day?
Well, I mean, it felt like for the longest time it was always Youngstown, right? And I know, Kyle, probably when you were playing, we played UNI a couple times, but it's an old like sports superstition thing too, which 2 years ago we weren't losing to anyone. We beat the shit out of them. I don't even remember the final score of that one, but I mean, you got to take it as, you know, just a week by week basis, because this UNI team probably isn't the same as like 2021 UNI or 2019 UNI. So, not you want to, you know, get your cart before the horse, but it's obviously someone you got to take care of. But as far as like fan superstition goes, just look at them and analyze, what they look like, and got to trust the system too. I mean, I think Jackson will have them ready. Is there really that much more of a distraction in college for homecoming as any other week, or is that more of a high school thing? I don't know, but fan base is a little nervous. I guess I'm not really anymore. I used to roll my eyes whenever we'd have to play UNI, but now it's like, I don't think so. I think we kind of got a lock on it.
They were top 4 when we played them in 2009 and we beat them. And I mean, we kind of had a stub our toe type performance against them in the teens when Stack was there. And really we had the talent and the wherewithal to get those wins. So I think that's probably stems from where some of the frustration is. And I don't know, you guys could speak to it. Stack, Brian, what are your thoughts?
I think that for us, I would say, I think that a lot of that superstition probably kind of comes from, unfortunately, like when I was around SDSU, because like when we would catch them on Hobo Day, like you were catching like pretty good UNI teams, like league guys kind of on their offensive line and defensive line, guys who are starting and, who are dudes at that point. But from what I've seen out of UNI, it's kind of like what that one dude used to say, like, bro, like what happened? Like this isn't the same squad that we were seeing like 5 years ago or even like 3 years ago, I think, when Brian and those guys played there. I mean, from what I've seen,
crack down on steroids.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, what do you think, Brian?
Well, one, to speak to the not as many distractions comparing college to high school. College, it's all distractions all the time. You can go get drunk at the Wild Hare every Saturday night, every Friday night. It doesn't matter.
Where you can be responsibly wild.
Yes.
Right.
Exactly. But honestly, UNI, when we played them, they always had like the one-off really good players, like Christian Boyd, for instance. I remember Mason talking about him and how he was really well. And then, I don't know, I think Pennington's brother, he wasn't as good as the Pennington, you know what I'm saying? The one that you guys know.
Or Spencer Brown.
Brown, yeah. But I would say their O-line's always good, though.
Their O-line's always pretty consistent.
Yeah. Yep. I can't lie. Like, that was probably when I was playing, like, for those 5-6 years, like, that would be the best offensive line, like, most physical offensive line you see every year, like, even more physical than, like, NDSU. And, like, they're running the same kind of plays, like, power, counter. So, like, it's pulls and you're getting hit, and all of them are, like, massive. Like, like, Brian, like, what do you think they all were when you played? They're, like, all, like, 6'5" plus, 310 plus.
NFL offensive line for sure across the board in terms of stature. Yeah. And then you look at, defensively, they always had really good backers. Farley was always in there. They had, those German kids from Iowa that they would roll out there, and they could always run the cross blitz. I always know the cross blitz. Man, we had to prepare like, thousands of reps of the cross blitz, make sure we picked it up. We checked our 1-2 and made sure we did all of our protections and knew where we were sliding. They also are very multiple in defense. They're an odd front, 3-4, but they could run variations of a lot of different things and really just kind of force the issue for you.
I might have to get on my soapbox for a second, because like I'm actually annoyed by UNI. Because, like, when they would play us, bro, like, if they played us, everybody else, so they played us, like, they could have got a national championship. Like, when it was South Dakota State and this Hobo Day, then they're all playing, like, all pros, all of them. Offensive line. You already know they'd always have that one giant freak African DN and, like, some dude in the middle who's, like, 400 pounds, benches 500 pounds. I'm like, and then they'll go to USD and then get beat. And then, go to NDSU and then just, roll over. I'm like, bro, who are you guys? Like, why is this personal for them?
That speaks to discipline, too. I mean, they have a lot of talent all the time, but it's hard to kind of harness that discipline. Under Farley, for the last 4 or 5 years, they were getting a lot of transfers in. Farley was losing a lot of his coordinators to the next level, even in the NFL with Green Bay, Mahaffey, their OC. Just a lot of turnover, which happens at the FCS level, as we've seen in recent years. But we should speak to that. Now it's not a Mark Farley team, and we'll bring in who we've got right here. I'm going to pull it up, but the head coach is now Stepsis, who came over from Drake. Yep. coming over from Drake. It's going to pop up here. Todd Stepsis, first year overall record 30-32. So he's got a 48% winning percentage. He's nil in the MVFC. They did lose last week to UND. So he's 0-1. He's 1-0. Now he's 1-1 in the Unidome thus far. I think they beat Butler. 27-17 record in the Pioneer Football League. That is non-conference, or sorry, that is non-scholarship Division I for those who are keeping track. He was back-to-back Pioneer League champions last couple years with Drake, and he won Pioneer Football League Coach of the Year there. So FCS Region 4 Coach of the Year in 2023. So he has familiarity with the Jacks, obviously dating back to 2022 when we played at Target Field. Brian, you played in that game. Anything you could speak to offensively that they did that was kind of nice or that we should look out for?
I would say they tried running a ton of screens, as did everybody when I played. So I don't know if that's just his identity as a coach, like Lujan with the tunnel screens, or if that was just because he knew he was outmatched and had to, try to find a way to create a little something in the run game. I will say, though, I would much rather play UNI at home than on that shitty-ass turf that they have up in the UNI or whatever. So
The cat piss stain.
oh, my God. It's like running on carpet.
Somebody spilled coffee, and you can't get any traction in it because you can't wear any real soccer. And you have to wear indoor soccer cleats. It's such a trash stadium.
But I would say their turf is better than those other guys. So
No.
Really?
Really?
Well,
I think
shitty.
it's
I don't
trashy
know.
all the way. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I was about to say if they have anything over there, it's turf and nothing else.
Word. All right. So when we look at their next slide, I'm going to pull up here is their overall win-loss record. Didn't pop up. Let's see. Bear with me. We're going to invite.
So yeah, pull the clip, Kyle.
Pull it up, Jamie. Pull it up. It says image 2 right here. Remove. Oh, I got to remove it. Add it. There we go.
There
Got
you
it. So over the last 5 games, this is their win-loss result. So last week, obviously, we mentioned they got trounced by UND 35-7. They're having a real tough time putting points on the board. As you can see, they also lost to Utah Tech. That was on the road, but Utah Tech, obviously kind of a newer FCS program. We played them back in 21. Stack played them when they were running a gauntlet of a schedule where they played us, Montana State. They played every blue blood. They did get a W barely against Eastern Washington at home, and then they won also against Butler. So those are their 2 wins. I wouldn't say those are juggernauts in the FCS. Eastern Washington's fallen off. But as you can see, they're struggling to put points on the board outside of their win against Butler.
Yeah, and I mean, playing a defense like ours, you're gonna need every point you could possibly come across because these dudes are stingy. So I mean, you're gonna have to get creative, right? Brian, how you said they threw a whole lot of screens at you guys. It's gonna have to be stuff like that. If up front, I know they're not what they used to be. You're gonna have to find a way to take certain people out of the game, right? Our defensive line, if you don't want them to be a factor, you're gonna have to throw screens. You're gonna have to get the ball out fast. So.
For sure. And I think they can't give up 250 yards to the air like they did against UND. I mean, honestly, that's what I'm hoping Chase can do this little bounce back game. People are talking about him struggling against Youngstown State. What an opportunity to go out there and throw for 250 on Hobo Day.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt. And then when we look at the top dogs that we can expect to roll out for them, they have obviously some pretty good wide receivers that are putting up numbers, but they're not necessarily getting in the end zone and hitting pay dirt. They are Kershaw and Price. Sounds like a law firm or an accounting firm, but they're court will be in session, Hobo Day. They're going to try to obviously attack through the air if they can. They got Bowie Bay is their running back that we're going to see some of. So it'll be interesting to see how they decide to attack the boys. What do we think, gentlemen? How's that going to transpire?
Stack,
I don't think they go heavy run at all. No, my bad. What'd you say, Brian?
Whenever you played UNI, did you guys see a lot of duo, or what run scheme did they run against you?
Duos, counter, power, literally. And like the counter would sometimes, it would be like with an attached tight end, it would hit in the C gap. Like would be like mainly what it was. So like we'd run a lot of I think we ran a lot of even. So like we were just like pulling with that pull and then just trying to get an extra hat over there mainly.
No, for sure. I think that's the
so like a lot of biblically accurate football. Like it was like those games were like. No, what were you gonna say, my bad?
No, go ahead. You already started going on another tangent. I was gonna let you finish. Big dog.
No, yeah, I was just saying like they just play a lot of biblically accurate football, downhill run. But I mean, with the coaching change and I think a different kind of talent that they have there now, I wouldn't see them being as run heavy, especially running at a front seven like this. So like I they would have to get their money through the air. It would have to be quick pass game.
So this is kind of what it breaks down to. Sheckelman is their quarterback, man in the helm for them. He's 98 of 156 for 7 touchdowns and 4 picks. So he will put the ball in harm's way. If we can win the turnover battle, especially on our home turf on Hobo Day with a loud crowd, I think that's advantage Jacks. Their running back, Bay Bowie. He's going to be like a buoy out to sea, I think, on Saturday because 234 rushing yards on the season isn't going to get it done when you get into the thick of valley play. Kershaw, as I mentioned, he goes 270 through the air. But Bullock already really only being featured in one game is already at 337. So he's going to be our main man on Saturday on the Jack side of the ball. Loffridge is already more than doubling up Bay Bowie with 550 on the ground, going for over 5 yards a carry, 6 total touchdowns, had a 4-piece, 4 for 4 on Saturday, right, Brian? Little Wendy's, 4 for 4.
Wendy's action. Can't never go wrong with it.
There you go. They do use number 88, their tight end. He is pretty good of a threat, so I would maybe assume that they're going to try to get some reliable passes early through the air. Sheckelman's probably going to try to find him and target him. As it relates to their defense, they do have a guy I would like to bring up. His name is Owen Ostrowski.
He was the one that committed to us, right?
Was committed. For those of you who can't see our screen, aren't watching live, Owen Ostrowski is showing a committed infographic here. Committed as a D lineman, transferred from Tulsa. But then when we had a little bit of chaos ensue in December and January, obviously rescinded his verbal and decided to follow, I think, his brother who's on the staff at UNI. So no harm, no foul there, but he's kind of a dog. He's got 4 tackles for loss on the season, 3 of those being sacks, and then 1 TFL outside of that. He also has an interception. He's going to try to strike while the iron's hot on Hobo Day weekend. So we got to make sure we get a hat on him, whether it's Hagan or, somebody else. Q, we've got to make sure that he's accounted for in the run in the pass game. Crandall, their linebacker, he's a pretty damn good player too, number 6. He shows up all over the film. He's got a lot of ability, and he's rolling in with 42 tackles, just 1 shy of the mark Cullen McShane has set thus far. So Joe Ullman, obviously from the LB position, he's leading us with sacks right now at 3 or tied for the tops of that margin. I think Kobe might be right there with them or past it. And then Logan Green is pretty close as well. So got a lot of sacks that we're filling up broadly in the stat sheet. So want to see more of that this weekend. Gentlemen, what are your thoughts on UNI's defense? What are we going to see from them a non-Mark Farley coach team.
Congrats to Buddy and his brother for going 2-3 on the year. Couldn't imagine a better place for him to be at. Welcome
You got to choose wiser. You got to choose wiser, man. Like, come on. Like, I get that's your brother and all that, but your brother's going to understand if you're like, I want to go win something. But, I mean, this is truly a mind-boggling choice by me. Young men, choose wiser. Don't choose with your hearts, please.
Well, it just goes to show, too, Julius Lothbridge, there's a nice feature on him this week that came out. He chose the Jacks because look at the tradition. Pretty much RBU for the FCS right now. If it's not tight end U, it's RBU. It could go back and forth each year, right? And he's running behind what?
Right.
An offensive line. He's balling, right? Because he's got an offensive line. And when you take a look at the landscape of college football, namely some guys that may have left us for greener pastures, or so they thought, really, really tough to run behind makeshift offensive lines in different conferences. When you can't establish the pass game, there's no balance. So it's tough, man. Make sure you really test the waters and go to your support group. And hopefully that support group isn't leading you astray, because you want to be able to make sure you can showcase your ability and not just be Jag, just another guy, right?
Well, especially if the reasoning for decommitting is a new football coach, a new head football coach, and you go to another place that's getting another not first year for his career, but a new football program first year at UNI. So it's
right.
A little bit of irony there.
I'm sorry, our head coach was just, in the SEC, was just,
right.
D coordinator in the Big Sky, the second best conference in FCS ball, just had a shot to go to the Lobos. Like he's, I guess you want to go play elsewhere. I guess you want to play on shitty turf. I don't know.
It's going to be a sad day come Thanksgiving. I was just thinking, I was like, dang, Thanksgiving's coming up. Boy's going to be sitting there, shit in one hand, hoping in the other.
I mean, it's a cool opportunity. Go ahead,
no,
Stack.
Him and his brother going to be looking at each other across the table like, bro. Yeah, I'm sorry. Like we brought up Thanksgiving. I'm like, I know he's gonna be sitting at that table looking across at his brother like, what did you get me into, gang? Now the Jackrabbits are sitting at home. They're about to come back, play their first week playoff game, and now I'm sitting at home staring at you. Like,
right. That's right.
I'm not happy about that.
I believe the Price receiver, he has a brother on the Jacks. So one of them definitely chose wisely. Hey, I don't know if the other kid even was offered by the Jacks, but one of them in the family, the genes are doing the right thing, right? They're doing the right thing. But gentlemen, they're going to be good I think they're going to be pretty solid on D to an extent. I mean, they're going to have guys who can make plays. It's up to the Jacks to execute early and often. Let's make sure we connect, this week. Let's move it into our guys. Let's keep it about us. What are we thinking offensively? Are we going to try to establish the run first? We're going to try to spare Julius until we see how the flow goes. What are we kind of mulling over this week?
Let's just run the ball. Establish time of possession. No, I never want to see another team beat us in time of possession, especially with the O-line we have. Especially second half, give me that O-line over anybody.
Yeah. If we took the step that we think we took last week, if we did take that step, that should be what we're going for, right?
And I think the complexity of the game is such that, like, look at guys like Justin Fields. I'm going to relate it to this. I had an NFL scout say, like, when you looked and evaluated Justin Fields, because I was kind of hyped on him because he was a Georgia guy coming out. I'm from Georgia. So I was like, oh, man, this kid's got, so much upside. But 75% of his collegiate reads were to his first guy, and then he took off and ran. So Chase isn't going to have to get through all of his progression here, but when he is on his first or second reads, he does need to give a deliverable ball. I want to see his feet settle this week in the pocket, and I want to see him just, like, give a catchable ball. Doesn't have to be a bullet, know when to take some heat off of it, and just play catch out there. So I'm fully confident he can do it. But that's just kind of what I want to see in terms of if we do pass. But, Brian, to your point, I'm a big fan of winning time of possession, run right through their face, and then let's see what happens, right? And then go back to the well, make them prove it. One of the things our fan base used to get pretty frustrated with Coach Eck is he would fall in love with the pass, or he would get overly creative, which at the end of the day, this is entertainment too. But I think our fan base would much rather see, zeros on the other side of the scoreboard and, advantage good guys.
Run the damn ball. That's what I want to hear. That's basically what that equals right there. Run the damn ball.
Stack, when we run the ball, what is it again? What's it called?
It's called biblically accurate football, man. The way the Lord intended. When God created football on the 8th day, when he said, I'm gonna make this thing called football, he said, you're gonna run power and counter. That's what
right.
you're gonna do.
That's the best right. Tax Connection's been this whole
time. All this new Brett the Field stuff, I've had enough of
it. Stack's like freezing up here, and I don't know if it's him or if it's his connection. So it's like, but no, you couldn't have been more dead on with that. We just got to run the damn ball, play good defense, win time of possession, and like Coach Sarvis used to say, strike up the band. After we move into defense, what are we thinking defensively? What do we want to see from the boys?
I know I don't want to see anybody push around our D line. I don't want 20. What did Youngstown State have first half?
Way too many. 17 or 20. Was it? They're up by 10. I think it was 17. 17-7.
Yeah. Standards 10 points, boys.
Yeah,
that's where we got to get back to. If we want to go where we want to go, that's going to be the standard. You got to hold teams to 10 points. I believe it was 4 takeaways, 8 TFLs. Like, yes, that's hard to do, but if we do that as a defense, it doesn't matter if the offense runs the ball, plays flag football, plays with each other. It doesn't matter.
Agreed.
Guys are going to come out on top.
All right. Well, let's get into our players of the game then. Offensively, who are we looking at? Starting with Scotty.
I'm going to cop out here and say Juice. They're going to feed him the rock, get him going. Hopefully we're to a point here in the second half where we don't have to lean on him so much, but I'm going to say Juice goes for 120 and at least 1 touchdown, maybe 2.
I'll go ahead and go. I believe I have the stats up here, boys. Jerry Kaminsky, 246 passing yards. Not only because we're going to run the ball the right way, we're going to have to take a shot every now and then. Give me Chase Mason.
There you go.
Stack, who you got?
I'll take the 605 Hogs. They win, we win.
Whole unit.
Goes, so.
Ooh, I like it. Whole unit. Good. Well, I'm going to go with who Brian went with, but I'm going to give you a little more context. So I think, personally, they're going to load the box up, try to defend against the run, take it away from us, and force Chase to beat us through the air. I think that's what I would do if I watched last week's tape. Make him unsettled in the pocket, maybe bring some exotic blitzes, make him have to go through his progression, and then try to do so with calm feet when you know you got Mr. Decommit on the other side who can rush a little bit, right? So, so I think that Chase is going to have to rise up, and I think he's built for it, and he's going to be calm, he's going to be settled, and he's going to show out on Hobo Day. So I'm rolling with Chase. So we got Chase, Juice. I was going to call him Jules. Chase, Jules. Hey, I like Jules. Julius Lawford. Yeah, let's go, Jules. Chase, Jules, and 605 Hogs. Moving into the defense, Scotty. Who do we like?
Let's see. Kobe. 1.5 sacks.
Ooh, okay.
Not only does Scott say the player, he gives stats behind it.
I know.
I fuck with that, Scott.
There you go. Let's get it, right?
The effort that Chase Van Tol played with, it only carries over. Give me Chase Van Tol for 8.5 tackles, maybe a little TFL. Give me one of those too.
There you go.
I'll be a little bit different here, and I'll go Aaron Wolfkale, senior D tackle, means a little bit more to you. It's your last Hobo day. Coming off a sack last week. Gonna make it a thing. Give me another one this week. I'll go with big number 55 in a Wolfkill, man.
Best player to wear that number since the stack.
Double nickels. Double nickels. Had to pluralize that one just for clarity. I'm going to go with Joe Ullman. I was checking to see if he was an Illinois Jack, but he's not. But he is in spirit. Junior linebacker, captain of the defense, Mr. Steal Your Ball, force fumble king, Joe Ullman. I think he's going to have a day. I think he's going to man the defense, and I think he's going to make some big plays. I'm not as bold as Scotty throwing out stats, but I think I'll say over under he'll have double-digit tackles. So D-line's going to be doing their thing, keeping Joe clean. And that moves us into special teams. And I'll start us off here, special teams, right? Because normally we just go with units. But I got to say, my special teams player of the week this week is going to be Max Pelham. But here's why. Max is going to be chilling, making sure he's hydrated, working on his tan, because his butt is not going to see the field. He's not going to see the field because our offense is going to be rolling. So I want him to have a day. I want him to bask in the beautiful Dana J. Dyke House sunshine that we're going to have tomorrow. The weather is lovely, and I want him to enjoy himself.
So you're saying I should see Max Pelham at the Wild Hare, say, here in about 30 minutes. Let's just go ahead and get
I'm not saying. I'm just saying. Who do we like, Scott?
You kind of took mine. I was thinking something along those same lines. Let's see. No, that's all right. Was Stater perfect last week?
He was.
Let's keep the streak going, or start a streak here. Let's keep him perfect on PATs. It'd be nice to see 0 field goal attempts, just PATs.
I love it.
Give me Kite 5.
Kite Fife. I like it. He makes plays on special teams.
Yes, he does.
Yes, he does. I love his energy too. And you know, he's got style rocking 4.7. You got to be bold rocking a punter number at linebacker. You got to make it real.
So yeah, I'll just second yours, Kyle. I really like that. Really like the idea. You know what? Work on your tent, sit there, enjoy Hobo Day, wave to the fans. I want my man to kick his feet up and kicking nothing but his feet up, man.
That's what I'm talking about, gentlemen. Love it. Love it. All right. Now moving on into scoring predictions presented by the Wild Hare of Brookings, South Dakota. What do we got?
42-6. Let's try that.
God, I was going 42-3.
Ooh,
I was gonna say 35-6. So I'll go 35-7. Maybe they get lucky. Our twos let up one. 35-7.
I'm gonna go 41-7. I think I think our second units kind of come in, and we're definitely gonna strike early and often, and then I think our second unit maybe has some kinks to work out. They're not used to it. They were working on their tans because they weren't seeing the field. Now they're working on their tans before halftime so they can get out there. I like it, gentlemen. Great work today. Great coverage. Thank you all for our soft 5 o'clock start time. We all work on technical difficulties. We've got to make sure we have a journalist on the ground. Brian is there, ready to
on location.
Right outside Chills. There's a reason I picked Chase Mason today, boys. Let's go.
That's right. Dr. Pepper represent. Just want to remind everybody that Foreplay is playing at the Wild Hare tonight. That is the Roman numeral 4, and Play is playing at 9 p.m. at the Wild Hare. They're opening at 9 a.m. tomorrow. Hangover Hut food truck Friday and Saturday. Make sure you check it out. But of course, after you get rowdy at the game, and as always, be responsibly wild. Shout out to everybody who listened along with us and chose to visit with us on Friday. It's much appreciated. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, tell a friend, do what you're going to do to support the pod. We appreciate it greatly. Shout out to the boys, the back-to-back boys, for Hines, friend of the pod, and Garrett Greenfield for starting up their own pod. Check them out if you can. And as always, check out our Level Up segment with Zach Zenner, airing weekly on Wednesdays at 7 a.m. So if you're driving in your morning commute, or if you're sitting outside of a Shields waiting for the boys to go on Saturday, make sure you give it a listen. And without further ado, go big, go blue, go Jacks.
Go Jacks.